Yes, you are listening to the Ready, Set, Retire radio podcast with Steve Anzuoni. My name is Jessica Forkel. Get more details on the website at fairwayfinancial.net. So every year, Steve, Google releases a list of the top online searches. And one of the big ones related to retirement in 2025 was a strategy called Social Security Bridging. So first of all, what the heck is it and who's going to benefit from this?
What the heck is it? Well, you have to look it up. No. Basically, bridging, and I've technically never called it that, but I've done it for years and years and years. So it allows you to delay claiming Social Security benefits, usually till 70, which is the max age you can claim it that makes sense to defer it, by using your own retirement money, right? Like your 401ks, your IRAs, and so on and so forth, or even if you're working part-time to cover your living expenses and all that stuff. So the goal is to maximize the Social Security benefit, because if you are married, the survivor gets the higher of the two checks, not both. They get the higher. So my philosophy has pretty much been that at least one of the spouses should defer until 70. That's always been kind of my go-to, with other circumstances obviously involved, like health and other assets. I mean, those two have to play a role in that. Because most people already know this, but at full retirement age, and let's just use 67 as full retirement age, which it is for anybody born in 1960 and later, okay?
Sure.
So if you defer from your age 67 to age 70, your Social Security benefits are guaranteed to grow at 8% a year for 3 years. Now, notice what I said, guaranteed to grow 8% a year for 3 years.
Sure.
Now, here's the problem with that. It's all based on what the government's going to do. So I don't know if in 4 years they're going to change that rule, or if they're going to change it in 6 years. Okay, I know they're not going to change it until 2028. That's all I know. But beyond that, it's anyone's game. However, if you're in that bubble, let's say like you're 67 now, do I defer? Do I do this? I've always erred to the side of, if you're not sure, don't take it, because you can always take it a month later or another month later. And so again, if something happens in 2029, they say, you know what, we're not giving you 8% anymore, we're going to give you 4%. That's going to change the rules. And so now, if you've been deferring, you might reconsider. That's all. But I've always used that philosophy. And the people who will benefit the most are the ones who have other assets to draw on. Like mostly it's the 401k money, or I've had a lot of people who still want to work part-time. So maybe they're transitioning from full-time to part-time, and that transition can still pay the bills. That's a perfect formula. And you got to be fairly healthy, okay, in my opinion, because if your health isn't good, then you're probably better off to take it than to defer it. So as you can see, there's no simple solution to this, but you need to investigate it, because once you take it and do it, it's irrevocable. So you want to make the right choice. I mean, for most people, Jess, this is their only source of guaranteed lifetime income. Their only source. So don't make a mistake that could literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Take the time to learn, to understand what the options are. How does it affect you? What if you wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, okay? You got to look at the tax ramifications. I mean, we're hearing all this talk today with all the money coming in from the fees and everything else that's going on, that someday we won't have any income tax. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that feels like a great thing, but you know the 8 or 9 most dangerous words you ever want to hear in your life? I'm here with the government, and I'm here to help. That is a very dangerous thing. So you need to be your own resource to get this right. You have your numbers from the Social Security Administration. You know what they're going to be, roughly. Do your homework. Have someone like me guide you and help you. Then you can make an intelligent decision. It's easier at that point. I'm not saying it's perfect, but you'll have better information, and you could say, okay, I'm going to wait 2 years and 6 months. Here's why. And you have a plan. Make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I mean, Steve, for those listening right now, they're thinking, all right, I want to come in and I want to continue this conversation. Maybe it's about Social Security bridging. You're wondering, can I wait? How does that work?
Yep.
Or maybe I can't wait. I need to get it as soon as possible. So if you've been thinking about Social Security and this popular term here, Social Security bridging, come in today. Let's do a portfolio review. Allow Steve to stress test that portfolio review, and he's going to look at things like longevity. He's going to look at filling in these different gaps, different tools and strategies. And again, it is all based on you specifically. These are custom plans. That is so important to take in here. It's custom for you. 508-552-3230. 508-552-3230. That website, fairwayfinancial.net. So if I were to tell you that the one and only Miss Dolly Parton has amassed 11 Grammys, 10 CMAs, 3 Emmys, and a host of many other awards over the course of her long career,
wow,
you probably wouldn't be surprised. But the fact that she is still going strong as she hits 80 later this month here, it makes listening to her worthwhile.
Everybody said, well, you're 80 years old. You're going to be 80 years old. I said, well, so what? Look at all I've done in 80 years. I just feel like I'm just getting started. I know that sounds stupid, but I think there's a lot to be said about age. If you allow yourself to get old, you will. And people say, well, how come you don't seem to get old? I said, because I ain't got time to get old. I ain't got time to dwell on that. That's not what I'm thinking about. I think, what? They're going to celebrate me being 80? Not that anybody would want to celebrate that. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. New things will come. And whatever comes, I'll give it my best.
That's it. I mean, I think Dolly's got it kind of figured out, Steve.
Well, no wonder why she's so successful. I mean, she's spot on. I mean, my gosh. Wow. I mean, there's a lot of rock bands out there who are 70, 80. Mick Jagger, all those guys. I know they had to postpone their tour this year, but they're still at it. I mean, why wouldn't you be? Who put an age restriction on anything out there? I mean, you are what you are. You feel what you feel. My wife reminds me constantly that I act like I'm 12. So, I mean, what's the difference? Age is just a number, really. It's all about your mental and physical health. If you feel like you're 80, then guess what? You're going to be. Right. If you feel like you're 50, you're going to be. So that's how I take it. Good to you. Go, Dolly. Wow.
Yeah, she's got it figured out. 80 years old. She's still trekking along there, still doing music, all the things here. And it got me thinking about, for a lot of folks out there, retirement could last as long as their working years. I mean, I'm talking decades here, 30, 40 years maybe. How do you design a plan that is able to withstand that type of timeline?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's huge. I mean, obviously, the way you combat that is to use inflation hedge type of products that will have a guarantee for life, like for income, like Social Security, as much as we joke that it's antiquated and all this stuff. I mean, listen, it's old, okay? It started in 1935. The checks are still there, all right? You can look at the TV all you want and see the horror shows and see all these things, but I've been in this business forever, and I've heard these threats and claims for over 35 years. So Social Security is going to be there, okay, folks? It's not going anywhere, but it's a guaranteed check for life, and it does help people because it provides more peace of mind for their retirement, knowing that they're getting a check every month. Guaranteed income annuities do the same thing. And you can do those by using money from your bank, money from a brokerage account. Heck, you can use money from your 401k. You can take a piece of it. By the way, this is a popular strategy. So I'm going to share with you right now one of the most popular strategies that my customers have used for, at least the last decade or longer. And that's taking a piece, and again, notice I use the word piece, of their retirement portfolio. Let's just look at a 401k. We're just going to call it a 401k, all right?
Okay.
And let's say there's $500,000 in there. Someone might take $200,000 of that as an example. Put it in a plan that's going to spell out exactly what the check is going to be in the future when they need it. Now, how nice is that? Because
talk about projecting the future. My gosh.
Yeah, it's a projection. It's a real number. So you can sit here today with a $500,000 portfolio, take 200 of it, and let's say you're 62 and the goal is 67. So you can take 200, put it somewhere, get a guaranteed rate of return on it, and when you're 67 it's going to show you what it's going to pay you, and if you're married, your spouse, forever. Okay? The check will last guaranteed forever, even if the money you put in is gone. That check will be there forever. So, do you think that's going to help you plan more for your retirement, knowing that a piece is going to be there forever and you can move it from the unpredictable table to the income table and put it alongside Social Security, right? And say, all right, here's how much I'm going to have in the future, and the rest of this money, hopefully, if it grows at 7% or 8%, here's what the pile's going to be, and here's what the computer model predicts it would pay for income. Not guaranteed income, but predicted income. But that is the way that most of my clients have planned their future and their income. So that'll help with the longevity. I mean, heck, I've got clients just in their 80s. I had a client who was 90. How old was he when he passed? He was 94, I think. He was still driving at 92.
Oh, my God. Good for him.
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome. Look, the bottom line is, if you can have more income in the future, do you think that will increase your confidence that the success rate for you retiring is better?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have more confidence because you're going to look at your plan. You're going to say, oh, wait a minute, this piece is going to be there guaranteed. The only thing I have to worry about now is the other piece. The more information you have, the more helpful it's going to be for your planning process. So just let them know how they can do that, and we're here to help.
And we are here to do it complimentary, by the way. That phone number, 508-552-3230, 508-552-3230. The website, fairwayfinancial.net. So what are people asking their retirement planners right now? Well, good news. They just did a recent survey by Natixis, and they found that 72% want to know, am I protected from a downturn? 67% say, what do I need to do to outpace inflation? 64% say, am I going to meet my goals? And another 64% is wanting to know, how do I preserve and pass on what I've built? Wow. Steve, take a look at this list. Is there anything you would add maybe from your clients?
Actually, what shocked me was 64% said, how do I preserve and pass on what I built? That was very interesting. I didn't think that many would be that concerned about that. They would be more concerned about, do I have enough money myself? Yeah. So I was kind of surprised at that. That hits most of them. I mean, a lot of it is, we just talked about it earlier, but the guaranteed income. Steve, how can I get more income in my plan in the future? Because that's the key. And, of course, the inflation question's coming up now. 5 years ago, that number would have been 0. There was no inflation.
Inflation is no joke. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's always been here, but it just comes in blips. That's just how it works. But am I going to meet my goals? I mean, that's a biggie. Everyone's concerned about, have I saved enough? Because there are other factors that have nothing to do with how much you've saved. And that's the health factor, the long-term care factor. Are you going to end up needing home health care, long-term care? I mean, that's a biggie. And a lot of people don't address it because, A, they don't want to address it. I mean, who wants to talk about that subject? Probably is right up there with going to the dentist. Yeah, the only thing I would add is income. Am I going to have enough income when I retire? Am I going to have to go back to work?
Yeah, because that is the number one question, really, and concern is, am I going to run out of money, and have I saved enough? I'm actually really surprised I didn't make this list here.
Here's some quick answers. Am I protected from a downturn? Well, the answer to that is, it depends on where your money is. If your money is in the market, then no, you're not. Of course not. Am I going to meet my goals? Well, first of all, to be fair, do you have goals? And are they written down goals, or are they just dream goals? If your goals aren't written down somewhere, they're not goals. They're just dreams.
Okay? Gotcha. Yeah.
If you haven't taken the time to take a piece of paper out, or a computer these days, whatever, I like paper, and write down, okay, I want to retire at 67. We're going to need minimum $6,000 a month. And don't think of goals as just a pile of money. That's the other problem. You know, my goal is to have $1 million by the time I'm 67. Okay. What's that going to get you? I don't know. It's a good number. Well, it is a wonderful number, but how does that affect you and what your lifestyle is? And as far as preserving and passing on what you've built, What if I would tell you that you could do that with pennies on the dollar, okay? There are ways and there are products that are built to be passed on to other generations. It's called life insurance. And I know what you're thinking, well, Steve, I'm 60. I mean, I'm too old for it. No, you're not, okay? They underwrite life insurance up to age 80-something. So obviously, the insurance companies don't think you're too old. Let's see what a $250,000 life insurance policy will cost, and you'll be shocked. And you might see that for only $300 or $400 a month. Oof. You can reach that goal. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, where am I going to get that lump sum? I'm going to have to take it out of my 401k, which, by the way, is the absolute worst product to leave your kids. It's the most taxed asset out there, and the government restricted how long they can keep it. So you don't want to leave a 401k and IRA, all right? So you want to spend that, all right? Seriously, that's the first thing you should spend down. But we can help you with that. These are just very small examples of what I can bring to the table to help you answer these questions more specifically, okay?
Get more details on the website, fairwayfinancial.net. That's fairwayfinancial.net.
Steve Anzuoni is a licensed insurance provider by the Division of Insurance and is not registered as an investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve Anzuoni, Massachusetts Insurance License 3851053. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Anzuoni is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Anzuoni is licensed in your state, please call 508-398-3337.